Gary on the John Fredericks Show. Joining us now, Nicole Wolter. Nicole, an entrepreneur. She's a business owner. She started a business. She knows a little bit about making America great again because her product's made in America. And Nicole is I'm also a member of the Job Creators Network. And this segment is brought to you by our friends at the Job Creators Network. For more information, go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com, jobcreatorsnetwork.com. And Nicole was at the White House yesterday for the great Made in America Day. Nicole, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, John. It's good to be back.
Nicole, before we get to your day at the White House, which I want you to tell us all about, I mean, I don't know, is it just me that kids or workers are protesting? They did a walkout in Amazon, and the thing that they're mad about is they have to produce and their production is measured. What am I missing here, Nicole?
I don't think you're missing anything, John. I do it at my own company. We have efficiency reports. We have productivity reports. I monitor those every day. If someone falls behind a certain metric level that I've set, we sit down, we have a discussion. And, that is just part of having a job. I'm also, as a CEO, I do have a board of directors. People do have to evaluate what I'm doing, too. If I'm not producing, if I'm falling behind on certain KPIs and metrics. So that's just part of business and having a job. So I'm a millennial. I'm sad to say that, but I don't know what happened to that generation, but it seems that they do want to just have a title. They just want to have flexibility in their environments, and they really just don't want to work.
Well, or surely not produce. I mean, it's unfathomable to me. And, when I had my job at UPS where we were measured, I mean, this was back, I'm 61, so I was 18 at the time. I was born in 57, so I don't know when that was, 57 plus 18, right? 1975, something of that nature, when I started college. But I mean, the fact that, UPS had this rigorous training to get this job, just loading the trucks. You had to memorize what addresses because it went in a certain order, back to front. And you were written up constantly. If you put packages in the wrong spot, the driver would get mad. Yeah, because then they'd be at a location, then a box would show up for 2 miles back. But I remember embracing that because you wanted the measurement so you could do good and maybe, get a raise or get a promotion. Now it's the opposite. We're with Nicole Wolter. She's a president and CEO at HM Manufacturing, and she's also a member of the board of directors at the Technology and Manufacturers Association from Illinois. Now, Nicole, you were invited to the White House yesterday for their big Made in America conference. Tell us all about it.
It was fantastic. It was such an honor to be there. It was fantastic. We went to a side group. There was 15 CEOs that at that time are, large corporations, medium corporations, and small to mid-sized business entrepreneurs like myself. Everyone was in manufacturing. We all make something in America, which is fantastic. I know the president is pushing that avenue. And then in our sidebar we met with the vice president, and we started to talk about the USMCA deal and how that's starting to affect all of us and how we can promote to try to push this deal forward to alleviate the tariffs and to kind of keep going and pushing through so that we can get working with Canada and Mexico again.
I tell you what, the USMCA is such an improvement from NAFTA, and every congressperson that is in any industrial type state that does trade with these countries should be 100% behind this. But the Democrats are blocking it, Nicole, because
yes,
get this, they don't want to give the president a success, even though it's hurting U.S. farmers, it's hurting U.S. dairy farmers, it's hurting U.S. timber makers, it's hurting businesses and families. They won't give it to the president because they don't want him to get a success. Is that sick or what?
It is really sick. And actually, since you mentioned it, one of the CEOs that was in the room was talking about the farmers and came out and said that 3 farmers a day are going bankrupt. The longer that this continues and they're not pushing it through and Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to put it up for a vote, all these farmers are absolutely suffering. And that's not only going to hurt the economy, but it's going to hurt, how we eat, how we help the Canada with dairy and Mexico. I was also told from another CEO that Brazil at this time is now starting to have certain discussions with Mexico to start importing and exporting rice. So the longer that this keeps happening, we're just getting cut out of the whole deal. So it's maddening to hear. It's sick. It's very sad to hear about these farmers that are losing their livelihood, that they're so much in the red line, that they're trying to live just off of their own loans at this time. And I just don't understand why this is something that doesn't get pushed through. I mean, Canada and Mexico alone, we purchased 1/5 of the total value of U.S. manufacturing. That's crazy numbers. In Illinois alone, Canada and Mexico, they purchased more than 2/5 of Illinois' global manufacturing exports. So we're just losing on the big stage, and it's just maddening.
It's unbelievable that the Democrats wouldn't be falling all over themselves to pass this and then claim bipartisan victory. I mean, the purpose is to move the country forward, but they're so intent on hating on this man and getting him out of there and not wanting to give him any credit for anything, they'll actually hurt their own constituents in the bargain. The whole thing is ridiculous. We're with Nicole Wolter. She's the president and chief executive officer at HM Manufacturing in Illinois. She was at the White House yesterday, featured as one of the Made in America companies. She runs a transmission auto aftermarket manufacturing company. Tell me how your company is doing, and tell me how the Trump economy has had an impact on HM Manufacturing, Nicole.
Well, John, we are flourishing thanks to President Trump's policies and the Tax Cuts Jobs Act. We are doing tremendous. We have grown. At one point, we added 3 new pieces of machinery just this year. So obviously that means more jobs, more innovation, more products. We are growing. I've hired 4 people. I actually just hired someone on Friday who's going to be doing purchasing full time. I never had that need before. It was normally like a part-time job, and other people were doing it as well. Wearing multiple hats as a small business, that's inevitable. But it's so great to see that now we are growing and expanding that I need a full-time person to do purchasing. I need more people to start running these machines. And we're actually looking at doing a swing shift, a second shift per se. Mm-hmm. So it's just exciting to see all of these new job creations, and the economy is flourishing. I have customers come knocking at my door. It's just so great to see. It's exciting. And, of course, with that, wages that go up for my employees and bonuses and incentives. I now pay 100% health care. So all those kinds of great benefits are only doable because of Trump's policies and because of this economy.
Nicole, your company is booming, and we're with Nicole Wolter, and this segment is sponsored by the Job Creators Network. For more information on job creation, the #1 organization for small business owners and small business advocacy, go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com. jobcreatorsnetwork.com. Nicole, your business is thriving. You're in a rare group because you're a female CEO of a manufacturing company. So when you go to manufacturing meetings as CEOs, you're one of few, right? That's just been the history. So you're doing great things. How do you feel when you see these Democrats like the Comm Squad? That's what I call them, the Communist Squad, AOC and Ayanna Pressley and Omar Tlaib, when they basically, and you got Bernie Sanders, and they're basically blasting America, blasting the capitalism, entrepreneurship. You know, in the first Democratic debate, one of the candidates, Congressman Delaney from Maryland, not far from Washington, D.C., I actually have had him on my show back in the day a few times. He said, you know, I've run businesses. I've started and owned and run businesses. And he got hissed at. Like the crowd, they hissed at the guy because he said he started and ran businesses. And they booed him. I mean, when you hear that, you hear these people, as hard as you've worked to build a company and to create all these jobs, how does that make you feel, honestly?
It's very discouraging. I don't understand what happened, what went wrong, how this started to turn against small business owners, even large corporations. We all have to live. We all have to pay rent. We all have bills. So I just don't understand why it's so toxic to run a small business, employ people. I guess it goes back to the whole metrics of millennials not wanting to have to do so many boxes a day. It's just discouraging. I don't see it with my employees. I know they're very happy. They're excited. They've been able to purchase homes. They've been able to purchase cars, things that they weren't able to do before. And I don't pay minimum wage. My wages are pretty high. I think my cheapest is $22 an hour, and it goes up exponentially from there. So obviously these are great paying jobs. This is for the middle class. And I don't know why all of a sudden it's a socialistic conversation where it should just be government ran. Everyone should work for the government. And now the job creators and the employers are the bad guys. It's very disheartening.
It is disheartening to see this because you would think that the Democrats would want to find a way to better the economy. Instead, I think it was Bernie Sanders we had a clip on Monday who said, my goal as president will be to take money from the rich. Now, he didn't say make those that are less fortunate prosperous, right? Because
right.
If you say, okay, I want to take those that aren't doing as well in this economy, find a way that they can share in it too. I'm for that. But he was like, the problem is those that are wealthy, we have to take that money away from them. That's his answer. I guess these are the social justice Democrats or whatever they call themselves, but it's crazy. Now, I know you're also involved with the Job Creators Network and their women's forum that their women's job federation are putting together. Tell us a little about your impact on other women that are manufacturing entrepreneurs.
Well, it's been great. I started a executive program along with the Job Creators Network for other manufacturers that are women. A lot of us are second, third generation owners, like myself. I'm second generation. And it's great to be able to come together, talk about what's happening with the economy, our workforce, trying to help the skills gap, and just try to boost each other. Women are playing such a bigger role in small business communities. 12.3 million women own businesses just in 2018. That's a stat. That's huge. That's a big deal. And it's just been so great to see that businesses owned by minorities and women of color have grown 163% between 2007 and 2018. So it's just so inspiring to hear that, women are coming up in the workforce. We're taking risks. We're, creating jobs, and we're coming together to form somewhat of a cohort to boost each other up, hear from each other's perspectives from different industries, and see where we can collaborate and help one another.
Well, look, Nicole, I love the work that you're doing. A couple more minutes. Tell us a little about the enthusiasm, the attitude of the people that were at the Made in America Forum yesterday at the White House.
Oh, everyone had such a great time. There was so much exciting energy and buzz. Everyone was ecstatic to be there, to see products that were made in America. Just to have, small business along with big corporations. It was nice to be able to bump elbows and also network between one another. And just being at the White House in general is just such an honor. We didn't really get much time with the president, but we were, like I said, we were in a separate room with the vice president talking about the USMCA deal, which is such a big thing that we all need to be pushing forward just for the farmers, small business, and the manufacturers in general, since it's good policy, it's good for the American workers, and it was fantastic. We were there for about 2 hours, which is almost unheard of. So just to be there at the White House and among other manufacturers talking about everything was just incredible.
Well, Nicole, that's fantastic. Congratulations on being one of just 50 companies in the United States getting invited to the White House on the president's celebration of Made in America Day. You've certainly earned that for you and your company. John Fredericks Radio Network. More information, jobcreatorsnetwork.com. Thanks for being with us, Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John.